let's get some information from Rohan Kent. He is the Disaster Response Manager for Plan Australia. He's in our Melbourne studio. Rohan, thanks so much for your time this morning. So much to deal with, very difficult conditions. What are the main priorities for your agency, Plan Australia, at this stage?
First and foremost, our thoughts are going out to all of those affected in Nepal by this earthquake. It's a huge event. It's a 7.9 on the scale. What we're very concerned about at the moment is the access to shelter, the access to fresh water and the access to protection. Plan International is a child-focused organisation, and we are also very concerned about the welfare of children affected by this disaster.
Now, we spoke a little earlier to the Australian Red Cross, also Care Australia. Both those organisations, amongst many others, are helping out in this relief effort. But just how are agencies combining together to ensure that resources are used in the very best way that they can be?
Absolutely, it's an excellent question, and what the agencies will do on the ground is coordinate through the United Nations cluster system. There's clusters for all the sectors such as health and shelter and protection. What the Australian government is also doing, it has formed the Humanitarian Partnership Agreement, and this agreement will allow agencies such as Plan International to combine with other agencies to target the most vulnerable. In our case, we'll be targeting children and their families to make sure that they get the need that they deserve.
Now, is the international effort enough at this stage, or really does there need to be a greater worldwide response? Do people really understand the scale of what's happened? And it's difficult to know, isn't it, because some of those remote access areas just haven't been able to be accessed yet.
I think that's spot on. If we take it into perspective, the Haiti earthquake registered about 7 on the Richter scale. This is up to about 7.9, so this is a very big event. What we are very concerned about is exactly that, the outer lying villages and districts in Nepal. There's a number of those which haven't been reached yet. We are aware of the rain that's falling throughout the week, so we have fears of landslides and also roads continuing to be closed and closing. We understand that the mountainous regions also will require helicopters to get to some people. So this is a very challenging logistical exercise. We do call on as much international support as the Nepalese government has done to support these people in need.
Rohan, one of the major problems we hear is that people who survive just simply can't return to their homes. They're so damaged, and it's such a frightening experience being inside those homes. Essentially, they're living in the streets. And you mentioned that Plan Australia is a very child-focused organisation. Obviously, there are some major concerns surrounding that.
Absolutely, we're very concerned about the welfare for children. Children going through a situation like this will have increased stresses. Some of them will be missing, some of them will be separated from their parents and loved ones. It's essential that we support them to get back to a state of normalcy. One of the ways that Plan International does that is by supporting their parents and families through shelter and water, but also child protection activities such as child-friendly spaces. We try to get education back as quickly as possible through temporary learning centres. All of this helps the children to return to a sense of normalcy without sort of going out of their environment too much.
You've also launched an appeal, so tell us about that.
Yeah, look, and thank you very much for those generous Australians who have already donated. Plan International has been on the ground in Nepal for almost 40 years. We support 30,000 children in regular programming. We've launched an appeal that can be reached at 137526, and we will be making sure that we get support to these children and families immediately. We're on the ground and we're currently working.
Rohan Kent, the Disaster Response Manager for Plan Australia. I do appreciate your time this morning.